Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars and welcome to another PlayStation 4 review. Today's review is for Empire of Sin. Now this is a game that I have been looking forward to for much of the year. As you know, if you watch my reviews and my content, I am a fan of strategy games, especially XCOM type strategy games, and Paradox Interactive that have made this game are certainly veterans of the industry in regards to strategy titles. So this is a game I have really been quite looking forward to. Just before I get stuck into this review, I just want to give a little shout out to another channel that I've been communicating with over the last few months. It's a channel called The Critically Clueless. They're an up-and-coming channel. They do lots of game reviews, lots of gaming content. I will leave a link in the description. Please head over there, guys, and show your support. Comment, like and subscribe their videos, and hopefully you will enjoy their content too. Right, so on with the review here for this game. Right, so what do we get with this game? Well, what we get here is a mafia-themed strategy game. Now, essentially, when you start this game, you are given the option of choosing the head of your gangster squad, if you like. Some of them you will recognise, some of them you won't, but my understanding is they all have some historic relevance, or they have some historical connections to real gangsters and things like that. I chose Al Capone. Why wouldn't you choose Al Capone, I suppose, to start mine? But you do have a healthy option, and they all come with their own perks, so they all come with their own pros and cons, if you like. And then you are thrust into the game, and the game does come with a pretty decent tutorial that shows you the ropes. However, it doesn't literally hold your hand here, the tutorial. It just kind of loosely shows you what you're supposed to be doing. And the basics of this game is you are in a city, you are new to Chicago, and you've got to try and start rackets and take over the city one block at a time, basically. So early on in the game, what you've got to do is attack buildings, take them over, turn them into a number of rackets, breweries, brothels, hotels, casinos, all that kind of stuff. And that is all depending on the cash that you make. So early on, you've got to build your rackets up, and once you open a racket, you can upgrade certain aspects of that building. So if, for example, whatever racket you open, let's just say, for example, you open a brothel. Well, you can upgrade the security there to make it less likely that it's going to be attacked by rival gangsters. You can upgrade the ambience, which will increase more customer flow. You can improve the word of mouth, that kind of thing. And you can do this with all your businesses. You can improve all aspects of all your businesses so that they are more profitable for you in the long run. However, early on in this game, money isn't easy to come by, and you will learn that the hard way. So if you do play this game, don't blow your money straight away. Be quite careful with how you spend your money early on in the game. And then eventually you'll start seeing some profit with the rackets that you've put into place. You'll start expanding your business, you'll start making lots of cash, and then you'll start slowly taking over the city. Now, there's lots of different mechanics at play in this game, and for those of you who like a good, quite in-depth strategy game, you're going to quite like this. I would say that it might be a little bit overwhelming for those of you out there that might consider yourself a rookie to this type of game. It is quite in depth. You've got quite a lot of management of your businesses and all that kind of stuff, and then you've got to hire gangsters to work with you. But one of the good mechanics here with this game is, depending on who you choose to hire, they will bring skills, obviously skill sets to your team, but also you might not be able to hire everyone because they might have an issue with another person on your team, that sort of thing. So you've got to be quite careful at who you hire and who you fire, all that kind of stuff, and it all strengthens your team, and they all cost money, and they are all upgradable. So they'll have little different tiers, very much like XCOM. You know, when they level up, they get like these new skills that you can unlock and things like that. Very, very similar mechanic here with the people on your crew. So essentially, you're travelling around the city, you're taking over buildings, you're taking over rackets, you're attacking rival gang members. You will also get the opportunity to make peace with rival gang members. You can sit around a table, You can agree to be profitable with them, work with them, or you can just outright go to war with them too. The option is completely all yours. Early on in the game, it wouldn't make sense probably to go to war with every faction in the game because you're not going to last very long. But you can set up these alliances early in the game with rival factions and rival mobs, and it will be beneficial to you. You get thrown lots of missions, and these range from talking to people on your crew to do favours for them, to get them on your side and increase loyalty. Most of the missions you will get some kind of reward, whether it be money, booze, loyalty increases or notoriety increases, and essentially you'll go where the thing is on the map, you'll talk to somebody and the mission will start. It's quite simple stuff, it's not overly complex in that sense, the game. However, we're going to come on to some bad things now with this game. Yes, it's a good enough game, this. The strategy elements are all there, everything works generally speaking. However, it's a little bit undercooked, this game. It's a little bit underwhelming in the visuals and the way the game runs. I've had numerous crashes on my PlayStation playing this game. It feels like it should have been put out in a better state than it is. The cutscenes work quite fine. There is some voice acting with quite a lot of the cutscenes, especially the sit downs with the other rival gang members. But quite a lot of the missions on the streets, it's just text based, and I understand why they do that because there's quite a lot of text based stuff that goes on. But it gets a little bit uninteresting to do some of the missions because the visuals aren't particularly inspiring, and it's not, the combat as well is not particularly flashy. Now what sells for me combat in games like this is, you know, you'll get when they do a special move and it'll cut to a scene of them doing this move and it looks really cool. You don't really get any of that here with this game. It's just a case of rinse and repeat with the combat. So it's quite easy, the combat, don't get me wrong, and if you've played XCOM and you know the mechanics, you'll pick up the combat easily. It's very, very easy to pick up. You know, you've got usual things: shoot at a target, you know, you've got your actions, 2 actions per move, move here, shoot this target, overwatch, hunker down, hide behind environments at full shield, half shield. And like I say, if you've played these games before, all of that, what I've just said, will make sense to you. So it doesn't do anything new with the combat here. In fact, it feels like it's a step back in the combat in certain areas, certainly for me. And a lot of the environments that you do in the combat are very repetitive. Essentially, they're just quite uninspired warehouse settings inside warehouses. So you've got crates and barrels everywhere, and you know, metal beams to hide behind, and you know, that kind of stuff. It's just quite uninspired. And until you start upgrading your rackets, they look quite uninspired as well. You know, once you start upgrading them, they look better. Granted, they do look much better. But there's too much here in this game that's uninspiring to me, and it just felt like it could have done with a little bit more polish in certain areas. You can customize the game difficulty when you start. You could choose how many factions are going to be in the game. You could choose the level of difficulty. So if you just want quite a casual approach, just go in and play the game quite easily, and it'll be a breeze to play. Like I've said, the loot is quite hard to come by early on in this game. So if you're quite new to this sort of game, it might put you off the early gameplay here, because you'll make mistakes and you'll spend your money quickly, and then you'll find yourself much of the time just ransacking places just to try and find things so you can sell them and start making money. But once you get past I would say about 3 or 4 hours of gameplay in this game, it all starts slotting into place and the gameplay shines through. And that is the real strength here of this game. Don't be going into this game expecting another Mafia game or a Godfather game, anything like that. It's not. It's very, very strategy heavy, this game. It makes no apologies for that, but it is reasonably easy to get used to the mechanics here too as well. You've got a radial menu where you can access all your businesses quickly to have a look at what's profiting, what's making good profits, and you can go to it straight away and upgrade it. You'll find yourself wandering or zooming out and wandering around the map quite a lot, which is another thing that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I could never get my head around the fact that you're Al Capone just scuttling around a map with your crew. Surely it would have made more sense for you to drive around the map in like a vehicle of some sort. You're Al Capone, for goodness sake. You wouldn't be wandering about the neighbourhood with your crew just scuttling from building to building, attacking it. Even though there are police and FBI and things like that in the game, that mechanic seems pretty tacked on, in a sense of, you know, you might have to make deals with them now and again, that sort of stuff, but there's not very much else that, you know, there doesn't seem to be an awful lot of punishments if you're just walking around the streets starting wars and shooting people, that kind of stuff. So it's heavy on the strategy of this game. It's heavy on the diplomacy, you know, in regards to balancing the other factions in the game, just deciding who you're going to be at peace with, who you're going to be at war with, and choose wisely, you know, because your buildings will be attacked by them, all that kind of stuff. But I'll be honest, if this is the game I expected to get, it's just less polished than I'd hoped for. Is my summary of this game. I think if this game had a little bit more polish, and it was just a bit more inspired in its visuals, and it wasn't crashing quite so much, I think I would probably bump this up to an 8, maybe 8.5 out of 10, because I am essentially enjoying this game. And if it's a game you've been really looking forward to, I would probably suggest waiting a week or two until maybe they've patched it up, and then consider picking it up, because the base game here is $34.99 in the UK. There are more expensive packages that you can pay for, and you'll get, you know, extra factions, extra content, that kind of stuff. But I would suggest going in at the base level at $34.99. Maybe in a week or two when they fully patched it up, and then I'm sure it's a game you're going to enjoy, especially if you are a fan of XCOM and similar games. So yeah, that is my review for Empire of Sin. I hope you liked it, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and of course I will be back with more reviews on Screen Stars very, very soon. And don't forget to call over at The Critically Clueless and subscribe to their channel. Thanks for watching, everyone.